Welcome to Speed Up Your Avenue courses. I'm John Allan. I work on the Avenue project. Today's session, we are going to look at some symptoms of lag and stalling and frustration on Avenue. And then we're going to look at some potential solutions to maybe reorganize or reconfigure your courses. And then we'll have questions if you wish, but you can ask me questions because it's not a large group today. And I'm offering an apology because we're going to split this into two webinars. Next week, we're going to talk about quizzes and the question bank in relation to this issue, but also a few more items that we've identified at the help desk and ourselves. So next week, we'll be dealing with more the issues of the question bank. I hope that doesn't upset anybody, but I'll see you next week. Okay, so the aim of this webinar is to speed up the editing performance of your courses. And this includes just a simple act of moving content from one course to another. And this is a real frustration for a lot of of us, because you just don't like seeing that spinning little wheel, and you don't want to be waiting for the server to respond. You just want the stuff to move, right, within a reasonable time. We also want faster access for your learners, of course, when they're accessing your resources. If your courses are bloated, then they're going to experience it at their end as well. So we want you to reduce your course content, the stuff that you don't need. Like, it's kind of like those shows on A&E, the hoarding shows. Some courses are quite over the top. And actually, some of it's our fault, because when you asked for courses in the past, we gave you so much content because we gave you as much as we could, so you could decipher through it and sift through it and maybe remove some of it. But some folks, it just seemed to pile up. And I understand if you have to go through the process of asking your mentor, maybe it's a bit cumbersome and awkward. So you didn't really want to get rid of topics or content because you don't want to go through the process of asking for it again. We also want you to have faster access in terms of search on your courses. That's like with your eyeball when you're scrolling down the menus or you're scrolling down the page. Those long courses are really hard, really tough for folks to get through, especially if you're a teacher looking through over 100 modules. And really, in the end, we really just want you to reduce frustration. We want you to have a good experience on Avenue, really. So, for recognizing the symptoms of a bloated or overloaded course, we have to go back to why they're like this. So since COVID-19 happened, there's been a steady increase of students and teachers on our service, like a big increase. And recently in August, we added more content with our merger with avenue.ca. And this is now on the course builder. Stress on our servers is really due to two things: super huge courses and super gigantic question banks. And the question banks, we're going to treat separately next week because it's such a problem. It's just like duplication city. It's like a field of rabbits, you know, like maybe in March, there's about 20 out there you see hopping around. And then by July, there's 1,000. You can't see the grass. You can only see rabbits. That's what the question banks feel like. The course builder was our first step to resolving this issue from us, the Avenue team, to you. So what we recommend of what is too much, we would like you to have less than 21 topics on each course. And then less than 5 student-facing blocks. Now, what I mean by student-facing are the ones that the students only see, right? The other kind, like the sharing cart block, the mass actions block, that the students don't see. So we don't count that in your content. Really, what you should be asking yourself is, how many e-units or topics do I need to teach each term? Now, if your answer is 166, you're probably not teaching well. You're probably killing your students with content. You know, I'm not sure what a great answer would be, but can anybody in the chat tell me how many topics or e-units they would use between September and December? Can anybody input a number or shout it out? Paul says maybe 4. Bonnie says 6. Mary says 3. I guess it depends on the actual e-unit. And Michelle says 13. Michelle, you must be teaching really super smart students, or you are not teaching every single thing in each of the e-units.
It's the latter. Yeah, it's the latter.
Yeah. Okay, Sue says 10. That's good. You must have great students. Nice, but that's great. Okay, so we all have our different perspectives and our different challenges and our different goals, but we really don't feel that anybody should have more than 21. And that includes the support modules that come with it, or the extra support onboarding sort of and support topics that come with the courseware, or the new courses. So the other day, and this is not a joke, one of our instructors was having an issue, and she just couldn't she was having problems editing. And this is very typical of what we've been seeing for the last few months. I looked, she had 149 topics. This thing went forever. And then I looked into the grade book, and there were 1,656 individual grade book items. So really, if you have that many grade book items, your grade book is just useless to you, unless you spend a heck of a lot of time fashioning it. And well, oddly enough, there weren't as many as I thought, but there were 440 questions. Now, if you see the authors and the modifiers of questions in question banks, normally those people are not the people who actually are teaching it. They're the people who made the question, and they've been duplicated and transferred and copied over all around the system. Actually, 440 is not too bad. So you can really see if there's a symptom of an overloaded course. You get these editing stalls. Have you ever seen the sharing cart do this? Just spins and spins and spins. Or the calendar is the two items that really stand out are at the top, the tab. It does that sort of kit from that TV show from the 90s where it just goes left and right, do like a ping pong ball near the course name. And the calendar is the dead giveaway if your course is overloaded. When you're trying to go into edit mode, the calendar will display this. It will just do cycles, circles and cycles. So if you see those, your course probably is has had a feast and hasn't been on a diet in a while. So our suggestions, once you identify that you have a course with these issues, what we suggest is, because now with the course builder, you can make your own courses. You should consider making something called a sandbox course, just with your name on it. No students, if you choose sandbox in the, okay, sorry, I should do this here. I'll go back. That's recognizing the symptoms. I've got that there for you. And then I have the instructions on to creating a new sandbox course. So what you can do with your sandbox course is put really elements that are important to you that are not really from our system. So you can open the sandbox course or create one, check it, so no students are required. And then you can add things, for example, some of your H5Ps or some of your learning objects from Tutela, eCampus Ontario's H5P Studio, which a lot of people should look at. Other third-party acquired resources and links. If you grabbed something or borrowed something or shared something with another teacher in one of your shared courses at your institution, but you're not really sure if you're going to use it for this course, you can bring it and put it into your sandbox course. From your professional learning network, you might be able to find stuff as well. So there's all sorts of activities that are sort of personal to your teaching, and a good place to store them is not on your teaching course, but on a separate sandbox course. Okay, especially activities and resources that you've created. If you want to make a copy and put them over there, or if you want to just put them there if they don't apply to the class you're in now. And then also you can put some, this is not an e-portfolio thing, but you might want to possibly put some student exemplars that you can use as a presentation element in the future. And so for our sandbox courses, it's really temporary storage of your resources and activities. You create it with the sandbox in the course builder. You create it with the course builder. And then you move the content with the sharing cart, because the volume should be quite low, unless you're like a machine and you produce tons and tons of PDFs and all that, then you might consider using the mass actions block. But we think you should be using the sharing cart. There shouldn't be too many. And remember, well, no, don't remember, but we've had a few server crashes from people trying to use the sharing cart and bring everything from one place to another, like all at once, all of your course, like 60, 70 topics. So you have to be aware that the sharing cart is for low volume. Okay, so in the handout, we just walk you through the basic steps of using the course builder. I'm sure most of you have used this before. I'm hoping you have. Then you request your course. Once you get into the course request, there's a form. Make sure that you check this this checkbox off. Make this a sandbox test course. Okay, and then you put your information here. And as we know, the course builder support from Avenue has PDF help files and videos that you can hyperlink. Has everybody here, has somebody here not used the course builder yet? Can you give me a thumbs up if you've not used the course builder? Bonnie, you haven't used the course builder? Michelle, you haven't?
No, I just learned about it at our faculty meeting about 2 weeks ago.
Oh my goodness, you missed the parade then. We went down Yonge Street, we had streamers and we had little firecrackers. It was fun. So now that you've learned about it, will you use it, do you think?
Michelle? Oh, I will definitely. Yes. Makes way more sense.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And Bonnie?
Next term.
Yeah, but you're aware of it, right? That you can actually make this happen for you, and you can make your own course.
Yes, I'm aware of it, but I had everything planned for this term already.
Okay, that's good.
I didn't want, I had the modules planned that I was doing for the fall, so I just didn't want to change my plan. But yeah, I'll look at it in December and figure out, try to use it in January.
Okay, excellent, great. Okay, so you have a sandbox, and then you can move your content to your sandbox. I'm going to be talking about export and import and backup and restore next week. Today, I just want to talk about the sharing cart block and the mass actions block. Oh, Margaret, that's great news. Is that on Avenue, the webinar?
Yes, it's going to be on Avenue. It's going to be at the beginning of December. So yeah, it's going to go out. The message is going to go out sometime in next week, I think. Yeah,
Oh,
it's going to be on the forum. Yeah,
that's great news.
Mhm.
Getting the that message out, because it's a positive message, and it gives the teachers autonomy, and that's really what we want. We want the teachers to be more empowered.
Yeah, yeah.
Thanks for doing that.
Thanks.
So the sharing cart block. Has everybody used the sharing cart block? Can you tell me if you haven't used the sharing cart block? Michelle? And
No, sorry, I have used it.
oh, you have used it. Has anybody not? Peggy?
I have not used it.
So you don't use any shared courses with your colleagues, right? Then
Actually, right now I'm just kind of doing a pilot.
Okay.
Because most of our, actually all of our courses are online face-to-face. And so I'm trying to figure out how we can use Avenue curriculum to enhance the programs that we deliver.
Okay.
So I'm just really playing around to see what's out there and how I can make our classes better.
Okay. So if you have a few items that you see in another course that you want to bring over quickly to your course, it's called the sharing cart block, and it's a really nice feature.
And so that can be, and that can be from any teacher that's in the system?
Oh, you actually
have to ask them first.
You have to be a teacher in their course. So normally what the institutions do is they have a shared course with all their teachers.
Right.
And then their teachers, right?
Yes, I understand. Yes. Okay.
Yeah. So once you get a little more deeper into the weeds there, you'll see that it's a really nice feature to use. And often, like now we're talking about having your own personal sandbox course. You can transport things from one to another really easily. So you can keep them safe over there and not have to throw them away or clutter up your course. Okay. Then there's something. Yeah, it's not shopping cart, but I've heard that term 1,000 times. That's funny. Thanks, Bo. The mass actions block, which we'll be talking about extensively next week, is same as the sharing cart block. You're allowed to change attributes of things in your course all at once, or its best feature really is it moves a lot of things from one course to another, or a lot of things from one course within a course to another part. But that's another option for you. Okay. So the sandbox course is something you should consider to store your valuable learning resources and activities. So after you've recognized that you have a course that's a bit bloated, you want to remove course topics. This is the number one thing we ask teachers to do. If they have, commonly, most teachers have over 60 course topics on a course, and it really, around after 2021, they start to slow down. So you can imagine these poor teachers are watching a lot of spinning wheels. So what you have to do is look at your course and be quite intentional in selecting what topics or e-units you're going to use for the upcoming term, which you all do. And because you have the course builder now, you don't have to think, oh, how am I going to get those back? If I delete them, I'm never going to get them back. You can always get them back now by having them, by going to the course builder, or having your own sandbox where you can go back and grab important things that you didn't need for this term, next term. You understand? Like, it's just like you have two sources, your sandbox and the course builder. So don't be afraid to remove things to make your course faster. It makes the gradebook much more manageable, and it makes searching through your course so much easier. Okay, and the steps really are quite simple. You turn editing on, you go to a topic that you're not going to use, click on edit, delete, yes, and that's it. You just keep on doing that until you've really reduced the amount of topics in your course. Another thing is there's blocks on the side. Now I've seen more than 16 on a course, and it's the number 16 is quite large because the teacher learned how to use the HTML block feature, which is cool because the HTML block feature is you can make a little sort of mini web page and have links and even videos and whatever you want. Like this one here, you see here the local weather widget, which is an HTML block. So you can have all sorts of things here. But what we call these ones student facing. We think you should have 5 or less of these, right? And in order to do that, 5 or less of these blocks, not 9. And all you have to do is just go into the blocks and click on delete the click on the cog icon and click on delete the block name. And here are the steps for that. Excuse me. Nice and simple. Just go through and just delete the blocks. We're going to avoid the question bank today until next week, because we've had a few experiences where people moved in quizzes from one course to another, and it brought the whole question bank into the destination course. So we're trying to sort that out, because if you use a sharing cart and this happens to you, you're going to have like so many questions in your question bank, it will be untenable. Oops. Okay, let's go back here. So large media content. I'm not sure how many of you are editors or advanced editors, but you do know that you can put rich media into learning management systems. The most common one is either an audio or a YouTube video. Then you can have these sort of third-party tools such as H5P or the old Adobe Captivate or Articulate. And when you have large media content, it causes loading issues. So what you want to do is just consider what you're doing. You should really not be uploading videos directly onto the Avenue server that are large. You should link them out to a the YouTube streaming server. It's when you go into H5P, that's quite easy, but when you go into other areas of Moodle and edit, or sorry, Avenue and edit, you have to make that choice. Am I going to upload this large file, or am I just going to link it out? Now, if you want to link it out, if somebody's already made it and you found it on the internet and it's acceptable to use, by whatever copyright standards, it's easy. You can just hit the share button and grab that little link, right? But what if it's a video you've made, or you've made or edited, and it's, say, I don't know, hundreds and hundreds of megabytes, and you want to put it up? You should consider going to YouTube and setting up an account. And I've given you this hyperlink, and follow these kind of these steps. And what you can do is have your own YouTube channel. Costs nothing. Just sign up with Google or whatever it is, and then you go to your account, YouTube Studio, you click create, and here's the hard part. Their server will ingest anything. So you can put this heavy duty video, really heavy video on there. It might take hours actually to upload and refine. But then once you've got the video up there, you can create a thumbnail, and you can put packaging information for other people to look at when they go to your YouTube channel. You can make it private or only accessible to people with links. You have your own security there, but you can set the link so that you, and tags, of course, and your license. So you can set it up so that you can now link to this video that you've put on a streaming server, and it doesn't cost Avenue server anything. It's just like a quick link out, and then you can see it that way. So the steps are all here for that. All right, that's on that handout. And so Rich Media also, some of the e-units I found have these really large multifaceted, multimedia interactive activities, and they're from different service providers over the last few years, and they're quite nice. Some of them are very sophisticated, all-encompassing, very modular, great things. There's nothing you can really do about that. If they're in the e-unit, you can't link out to it. You should just leave it where it is so it can report to our grade, to your course's gradebook, okay? Those big files, just leave them alone. One thing you can do.
Oh, sorry, John.
Great
Just
call.
a quick question while you're on the topic. Michelle was asking, what would be considered a long video in terms of megabytes, gigabytes?
Oh, geez. I don't know. I would say something quite short. It's not really the length of it, it's the quality as well, and the dimensions, right? And the quality of the audio and everything. So I don't know. 50 megabytes is quite small, but if it's like over 100 and it's approaching huge numbers, you'll know it'll be long. So you might as well just put it into the streaming server. I can report back on that number in an email when I send out this link, the link to this. And also, these numbers are sort of moving targets because our servers are improving. So I'm not sure exactly. I probably will ask Jim. That's a good question. Thanks. Another thing that you can consider if you're developing sophisticated H5Ps, inside of the H5Ps, you can have your interactive videos, of course, and your videos. Consider making those videos. Don't just upload. Try to get them from a streaming server to make things go quickly and alleviate the stress on the Avenue server. But also, I was working with an organization, and all of their videos were between 48 and 65 slides, on a course presentation. And they weren't just text, there were all sorts of things in there. So they were really quite complex, but also large when you looked at them in the content bank. So maybe reconsider this pedagogically, of course, but reconsider big, huge H5Ps and chunk them down into separate H5Ps. I don't know, that's just an idea. Yeah, those big third-party learning objects, there's nothing you can do about them. If you could avoid them, that's great. But if you want them and they're really valid for your students, go ahead and use them. Do I have that? Okay, next one. So in the end, what we would really like you to do is create your own course, a fresh course. Like if you have a course right now with 169 topics, just say, okay, I want to start in January fresh. I'm going to create my own course with a course builder. How many, just how many topics am I going to teach? Is it 11? Is it 4? Is it 3? Pick those e-units, go for it. And then maybe add some of your own customized content using the sharing cart or the mass actions block, but hopefully the sharing cart. And basically That's the best way forward if you start fresh and have your own sandbox course and then throw all those other topics far away. Okay, so on the handout, we give you the basics to starting up a new course. This one has 8 topics. It will have more because there are wraparound support topics in there as well, so it might end up with 12. And make sure you have, say, new course. Ask for the templates for your appropriate level. Do not check off this is a sandbox because it's a course. Your units will be here. You can resort them here, which is a really good idea. You can have your details here. Submit the course. If you then submit the course request, and then the course request goes out, it should take less than a day. I'm not sure. And if it's taking any longer, you can go on your course, click on Course Builder, Course Requests, and it will tell you what state your course is in. So sometimes if it's approved, it's not done immediately, or sometimes it says declined. I've had a few declined because I hit the same topic, or I've made a duplicate request for the same course. You know, when it came out, I was kind of clumsy. And then moving your content to your course, you can use these help documents here to help you out. And these are actually on our server. Step by step, sort of the Avenue way. So there are future Avenue policies. Oh, sorry, Peggy. Hi.
Hi, sorry. When you were at the course builder, when you were picking your courses where it said sandbox, is that where we can move stuff into it?
Oh, well, okay, there's 2 kinds of courses you can make. You can make a sandbox course or a course for your teaching with your students.
Correct.
The sandbox one, you can put stuff into both of them, right?
Okay. No, I'm just curious because when we were talking a few minutes ago about moving courses out of the way, if we put them in the sandbox, then we can move them into different courses later. Is that correct?
Okay, sorry, say that again.
If we choose to say make a sandbox, then we can move some of the content that we have in existing courses into that course.
That's right.
And then we can move it into another course as we think through what content we want for each of the classes.
Yes, that's perfect. Sorry.
Okay.
I'm a bit
that's
slow.
great. Thank you. I just wanted to make sure I'm on the right page.
Thanks,
here.
Peggy. Margaret? Margaret, you have your hand up? Do you want to ask a question?
Sorry, I forgot that I muted myself.
Oh, okay.
Sorry. So I have a question, but I already see probably the answer is coming because I looked at the screen now. I have a question about the courses that haven't been used by the instructor for a while. So can they be deleted, and when can they be deleted, and what the process for that is?
Okay, yeah, that's a great question. So I'll just continue here. The future Avenue policies being considered are limited number of courses per teacher. So there are some teachers with more than 10 courses. There are very few of them, but they are right into this and they're doing all sorts of things. A lot of them are experimental courses, of course. We have not enacted this yet, but because there's so many courses out there that are dormant, we want to pronounce that if your course has been dormant for 12 months, you'll get an email and the course will be removed. The email will give you some time, an interval to go in and collect anything that you want from that course first. Really, really old, oversized courses. We did that sort of when we moved to Avenue. We got rid of a lot of them on the old EduLink server. So we might be doing that as well. If your course is identified in the future with 170 topics, you'll get an email. And we'll work with you on that. The one that's kind of new is the whole concept is a limited number of sections per course. I don't know what the number would be, but it wouldn't be 100. You know, it would be quite lower than that. You will get lots of advance notice when any new policies are implemented. Now that the way we do the retiring of courses now, each teacher, if they want to retire a course, has to contact their mentor, and then the mentor takes care of everything. The idea is that you discuss it with your mentor. The mentor says, hey, are you sure? And look through it again. There might be something you want to keep. And then it goes into a queue and they're pushed off the end of the cliff. Something like that. Margaret, was there a part 2 to that question? I can't remember.
Yeah, thank you. That answers my question, because I think a lot of instructors are holding on to their courses because they have some materials in there that they think they're going to reuse. But because now you recommend using a sandbox, that is actually the solution to that problem. So they can move their stuff that they consider still usable into the sandbox and then get rid of the courses that they no longer teach. So I think that's perfect. Yes, thank you.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah.
That's great.
Mhm.
Okay, so for this week, that's essentially it. Are there any more questions?
Yes, John, if you wouldn't mind, Bonnie was wondering if you could show them how to use the mass action block to move topics from one course to another.
Okay, so I have a course here, link 3.4, and a course John Sandbox. Okay. So if you look at the course now, oh, do I have one? So isn't this terrible? This is an example of a bad course. So here's my the mass actions block, right? It doesn't arrive with your course normally, right? So I'll delete it. So your course, you have to add this to your course. So I've turned editing on, and if I go down, I see the add a block link, and I scroll down in the add a block, and there's mass actions. So now it's in the course, along with every other block in history. The reason why I have these is because when I'm on the help desk and somebody asks me a question about a block, I have to sort of have them all there to test out what they're requesting. So in the mass actions here, you can select. Oh my gosh, hang on a second here. I only have one topic here. I apologize. In a real course, you would have lots of topics. So my topic is called practice topic. So normally if you click here, you'll have a lot of topics, like practice topic or, let me just go to the other one then. This is silly. Okay, let's go. Mass actions. We'll go to this one. This is the other course. I'll turn the mass actions block on. So in this course, I'll choose my something small. Let me see. Let me go here and see which one's small. Small topic. Make ChatGPT your assistant. Okay, that's the topic. So I will click here and I'll choose this topic. So the idea, why they call it mass actions, is you can do a lot of things at once. So I've got a whole topic in there. I can show it or hide it from students. I can duplicate it in this course. And what you're asking for is to duplicate it to another course. That's correct, right?
Yes.
So I hit duplicate to another course, and you choose the target course. It's called link 3-4 John. Hey, so then that's my course, and I click choose course. I can, okay, it's topic. So keep original section number. make it a practice talk, a new section. I'll make it a new section and click on choose. So to put it in a new topic, it should. And this is what happens. That little kit thing goes do. So I'm still on this course and waiting for this to perform an action. I go back to the other course. And if I hit refresh, the content should be there. Yeah, there it is there. And I could have copied it over with the name, but this teacher now can change the name. So it's kind of a simple tool. Except for this here. Sometimes people hit the wrong button. And if they hit delete, everything disappears.
Okay, thank you. I find that simpler than the shopping cart, which I always find awkward.
I recommend this more than the shopping cart. A sharing cart. But that's
yeah, sorry, sharing cart. I said shopping cart again.
Yeah.
As you said.
Sorry, I thought you were saying that the sharing cart was preferable, but I thought
for smaller amounts of items.
I see. Okay.
The sharing cart, you would do like, oh, I want this, and I want this. Oh.
You're just selecting the ones you want.
Yeah, you only select one or two.
Okay.
And then when you go to the other course, oh, do I have a sharing cart? Yeah. Okay, let me hit refresh. Sorry. There. What? Should have given me two. Oh, what? Didn't I select two? Oh, no, I guess I didn't.
You selected test, which was already in there, so.
All right. Okay.
You've really got it now.
Okay, so then you select them, and then when you're on the new course, you click here, copy to the course, and then add it here. So yeah, sharing cart's preferable to me because we're really thinking about one or two items, not a whole topic to put onto your sandbox course. But we're going to look at this from a different viewpoint next week with quizzes and question banks.
Mm-hmm. Okay, thank you for that, because I've been using the mass action block often, but never moving topics from a course to another course. So this will be helpful. I'm not one of these people that have 100 topics. I actually have 30.
Okay.
You know, which I recycle and I do use them. But I do find my course is a bit slow, so I will I'll get a sandbox and then use the mass action block to move things that I won't be using in the next 2 terms. So I appreciate this.
That's great. Oh, somebody. Okay. What was I going to say? Yeah. I think he came in now. Tommy Douglas came in now. So I think that's a good start. Maybe you can spread the word around a bit. We just want to make sure that like we're going to look at your question banks tomorrow or next week as well. So you can see if there's a lot of duplication. There's all this inherited stuff that you just didn't even know what was there. But the one thing about, you just mentioned, sorry, we were just looking at sharing cart spins, but the mass actions block, I'm not sure if you're aware of this, but a lot of teachers, it just didn't work for about 2 months. Paul, is it May, June? And it was directly related to the issue of just giant bloated courses and people trying to move whole courses during the middle of the day to others.
Yeah, 100,000 questions in the question bank.
Yeah. So yeah. Well. Yeah. That's true. Using the sharing cart has a lot of advantages because you can see immediately where it's going and what's happening, for sure. So are there any more questions? Okay, thank you everybody for coming. I'm going to send each of you version 1 of this so you can get on it right away of this this Word document. And version 2 I'll send you at the end of the webinar next week as well. This one here, the oh, not that one, sorry. This one starts with recognizing the symptoms and it goes through some solutions. Thank you very much for coming today, everybody. Thank you, Paul.
Thank you, John. That was very
Thank you,
helpful.
John. That was great.
Thanks everyone.
Thank you.
Thanks very much, John.
Thanks.
Great session. Thank you.
Cheers.